I'm Alex, I'm leading sales at Clarity. And today I would like to dive into the topic that affects every high-performing sales organization, incentive compensation, and understand why incentive monetization and compensation thrive for some of the organization while other organizations struggle with that. What is the role of the incentive management systems in this picture, in this regard, and why it's more than just simply calculating the payouts. And with me today, Martin, in order to untackle these topics. Martin, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm Martin. I lead at SAP the Sales Performance Management sales organization for what we call rest of world, so MEE, EMEA, and APAC. Quite a big territory. Thank you for having me. I think incentive management is the only possibility for companies to really influence the top line of companies, move the behavior of the sales organization, and not only the sales organization, into the strategic direction of a company. And at the same time, we can heavily reduce the bottom line, the cost associated with that.
Okay, let's go into a little bit more details. So why exactly, I know that quite a lot of companies back in the days and now quite a lot of startups, they provide a fixed salary, fixed salaries, fixed compensation with a little bit of bonus compensation which is based on some variables which have quite difficult to calculate. Those are usually the ones which are just discussed on the managerial level and are assigned to each individual employee on a yearly basis or something like that. So why companies should or shouldn't they move to the incentive-based monetization in more details? So why it's needed for salespeople, which might be understandable because we need the drive to close more deals, but why should it be also implemented into the other departments?
Okay, yeah. For salespeople, I think it's obvious. Yeah? If salespeople are taking part in the game, in the sales game, they are expecting to get some extra money because they have to put some extra work in there. Yeah? Yeah? If you would like to be a good salesperson, there's a lot of work you have to do. And then finally, in the end, you hopefully get some reward for that. Okay, that's easy. The thing is also not only with salespeople, but it's really also with companies like, one of our customers in Mexico. They are a big refreshment drinks company, and they are incentivizing their delivery drivers. So there's a base salary for the driver if he shows up every day for work, if he's in time with the delivery, if he maybe is selling something that the other one didn't buy or didn't take because he was not there, he gets an incentive on top of that. If he's putting cans or bottles into a dispenser, he gets incentivized for each of that because it's extra work. He's only a driver usually, but he can do that, and with that he can get his salary up. Okay. Would he do that if he would not be incentivized? Maybe. Would he love to do it more because he gets something? Of course. So that's one of the examples. Or maybe people that are working in a warehouse, the pickers. For them it's usually not of interest if they work on this side of the street or if they work on that side of the street. They care about, okay, here I get 10 euros per hour. Here I get 11 euros per hour. Let's go over there. Yeah. Okay, but they want to keep them. They invested in their education. They told them and showed them what to do and all that. They say, okay, instead of going over there getting €1 more per hour, here you can get 2 hours more.
2 euros.
2 euros, sorry, 2 euros more per hour. And but you have to pick better, faster, not be ill that much, all that stuff. And then here you can get 12 or maybe even 13 euros per hour. So they want to keep the people because it's very expensive to find new and educate them. So there are different ways of really getting the incentive management leveraged to keep people, to motivate them to do more or better.
There's also a thing that usually commissions are paid with some sort of a delay of at least 1 month, maybe over a quarter. This also helps companies to keep the personnel inside the company because they are tied to the compensation that awaits them. And also, I would say that from the sales perspective, it's quite hard to change the employer because you're stepping into a little bit unknown environment. You already know how to sell and how to close deals in your current position. If you go somewhere else where there is a compensation structure, you don't know whether you would be able to achieve the quota or not. So it also keeps to retain, to keep the personnel within the company. So this is also a benefit for the company, I would say.
If you talk about the internal salespeople, yes, you're right. But if you talk about externals, okay, we have one customer in the US, a telco company, and they were thinking about, okay, what could be a go-to-market? How can we get market share fast? How can we boost sales? And they came up with the idea, they calculate and pay commissions daily.
That way you're able to attract more interest from the partners and outside external sales.
Yeah, if you think about the big shopping malls in the US where they are selling these contracts, they are there in the shopping mall, and they only have people that are in there just for the money. Yeah, they sell. And when you're a sales guy, you're sitting there. It's like, okay, if I sell this, I get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I sell that, I get it end of the month or next quarter. It's like, okay, let's sell this one. Hey, this is the best thing for you. Would you please? And it does not work if you have a bad offering. Yeah? People will find that out and they will return it. They will not fulfill it. They will cancel it. But if you would like to push something that you have and that you think and you truly believe is good, that's a very good possibility to increase that. And they became so good, their biggest market competitor had to buy them. Otherwise, they would have run out of business. So it's really a way to, and how you look at that, either externals to push, really, or internals to keep them. And with our solution, you can even distinguish between, I sell it, I get a little bit of it.
Yeah.
They are using it, I get a little bit more. They are increasing it, I get even more for that. So all of that is possible with incentive management from SAP.
This is one comment, first of all. I believe the difference whether you pay it immediately or as quickly as possible or by the end of the quarter also lays in the complexity of the product. I know that quite a lot of the food delivery companies, they pay commissions very often because they want to attract new people, and they don't invest so much into onboarding of the people because it's quite easy product, quite easy service. So that might be one of the things. Question which you tackled already, why the incentive structure shouldn't be straightforward, just percent of the total, lump sum. You've mentioned yourself that you get part when you sign the contract, you get part if the customer is using the contract, and you get more part if there is no complaints or something like that. So why is it important?
First of all, if you give everybody the same amount, the same percentage, the same thing for doing maybe different things. Yeah, like I said with the drivers from this refreshment company. If you put a cake down and put it there, okay, you've done something. You convinced them that he should take that in addition, and you put that down there. Okay, but guess what? If you would have to take 50 bags or 50 pieces of that, you have to get the forklift of the car, of the truck, you have to put it down, you have to get that stuff, you have to drive in there. That's way more effort. Okay?
Yeah.
So guess what? If the truck driver has the chance to sell one cake or the whole thing, and he's getting the same for it, he's trying to do the easiest stuff for him.
Yeah.
He's trying to sell the cake. Okay, and then maybe 20 cakes. Oh, I get 20 times the money. Okay? Instead of selling 20 cakes in one thing.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, but this is the acceleration, but what about different pieces and pieces?
Because you have a different margin for different pieces. Yeah? Let's use software companies. They are selling licenses. they are selling subscription, they are selling implementation services, they are selling support. Okay?
Yeah.
All of that has a different margin. If you give the same amount or just one piece as an incentive, it's not doing justice to the effort that is needed, number one, and also to the margin that you have. For example, selling a service where you have people that are providing and bringing that service, the margin is lower. If you are selling a solution, a subscription, the margin is higher. So you can give a higher percentage of that to the salesperson.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And I really think it makes a lot of sense to have different amounts also for the effort that is needed. Yeah? If it's for example, you are already a customer, and then you say, okay, you have 100 licenses in use, okay, and then you need 5 more.
It's an easy sell. Yeah, makes sense. So now we tackled why incentive compensation is important, and that it shouldn't be just straightforward. It should be quite granular, based on the marginality of each and every product, on the effort that you need to in order to sell something or do something. How incentive management systems come into place in this regard? Why should we use them, or Excel is sufficient?
Okay, yeah, Excel is the big elephant in the room, and of course if you think about paying out on a daily basis. Okay, if you do that with Excel, you have to have somebody sitting there, putting the data in, doing the calculation, all that stuff. So that's one thing. There's a lot of manual effort needed. But one of the biggest things with Excel is you have to be very careful when creating a new plan or putting new data in. You better have the old version under control somewhere, locked in a safe or whatever, to have the history.
Yes.
Because I'm in sales. There was an error last year in my commission calculation. I only found out at the end of the year, because it's like this is when I get the information, and then I say, okay, what did you calculate there?
Yeah.
And then hopefully nobody did override the old Excel, because when you do that, you don't have any proof anymore. And Excel has no timestamps to that, nothing.
No audit trails.
So anybody can do that. So compliance, audit trails, that's a huge topic that you have there. Plus, within Excel, it's also difficult to get in all the data. To have people working on that, to have variations of that. So we know that, and we know that a lot of companies are using it. So what we did in our solution, I always call that Excel on steroids. So we have a formula generator in our solution that whenever the solution is set up, people that are administrating that can use it. And it's really much like Excel. Yeah? It's way more powerful. That's why I call it on steroids. You can use all the data in the system. You can use the functions that you know from Excel plus more, and then you can get that created. So and it's also when you look at the scalability, we have customers that are using the solution for 1.8 million of their sales agents and salespeople. Put that into Excel. How do you distinguish between all of them? Do you have then 1.8 million sheets open or tabs in one sheet? Yeah? That's huge. So the sheer data load that gets into that solution would make it collapse.
Yeah. One more comment that I would say from my perspective as a fellow salesperson, I really want to know what my commission is in the given day or week or a month, and I want to be able to calculate it myself. And quite a lot of salespeople spend time calculating commissions on a piece of papers or in their own Excel, trying to understand how much they will earn from a given deal or for a given month. Specifically, these design systems like SAP Sales Performance Management solution is able to show you real-time your compensation amount, which definitely brings a lot of clarity for the sales employees in regards to what is the money they should expect in a given week, day, or a month.
So the thing that you mentioned is transparency. Okay. if you do not know what you get only afterwards, then it's like, okay, yeah, I sell it, yeah, I do it, it's okay. But if you give transparency, if you show the salespeople what they get, how much they get, how they get it, and when they get it, it's a different thing because they know exactly what they need to sell and what they need to do in order to get to their incentivation. And this really motivates people. Yeah? So yes, you're right. That's something that is very important. And even, I know you guys are very good and a very good partner of SAP with regards to CPQ, configure price quote. If you combine the two, if you give people the possibility while configuring a solution or a product or a quote, seeing the impact on their commission, or maybe the impact of giving too much of a discount because it will reduces the commission. This really is steering the behavior of salespeople into the direction the company wants.
Yeah, agree. Okay, Martin, thank you very much. Any final remarks?
Just call us. Clarity, SAP, we are there to look into your sales performance management things. We are happy if we could get your interest, and we would love to start a discussion with you if and how we can help you to improve your sales, reduce the cost, and make all of us a little bit happier.
Great. Thank you very much.
Sure. Cool.